Hi guys, what's up? It's Angel here, back again with another video, and okay, so last week I made a video talking about cerebral palsy and like what it is and how it came to be that I have it, you know, and a lot of you guys liked it, and I liked making it. It was very fun, it was very nice, very real, very raw, and I enjoyed it. I felt like I was connecting with you guys on a different level that I haven't really explored before. I'm usually just used to making videos where I'm just like sitting in front of the camera and or making animation videos like with Disney characters or characters that I make on my own and different stuff like that, which I still will be doing, but I mean, I've just been like feeling like I need to, you know, use my voice a little bit more. Like, not a lot of people know about cerebral palsy or people with disabilities in general, and as someone who has a disability and who is able to speak their mind about these types of things, like, why not use it, you know? Why not use your voice? So today's topic, I think, is going to be about, well actually no, it is going to be about what I personally go through with having a disability medically. So we're going to be talking about like, you know, like therapy or like the doctors stuff, medical stuff, and it is going to be educational, but I am hoping to kind of weave in my own personal experiences. I'm just going to be sharing with you how, what it is that I've gone through and how it has affected me physically, and maybe a little bit of how it has affected me emotionally, because, you know, sometimes it has been hard, and like I said, I do want to be a little bit more real with you and kind of connect with you. So yes, let's get started, shall we? Now, the first thing that I can kind of come up with off the top of my head is basically the physical therapy. And the physical therapy, it kind of has varied for me. Once again, I'm talking, everything in this video is just me talking about my personal experiences, and I don't speak for everyone. This is just me. Oh, and hey, if you have any experiences like with like medical stuff, if you have a disability of any kind, not just CP, let me know down in the comments below. I would really love to hear your stories and your opinions. And hey, maybe if there's another kind of like treatment for CP or anything that I don't know about, you can let me know down in the comments. Maybe we can teach each other and we can learn more about each other and have mature, respectful discussions about these topics, because like I said, these are very important to me, and I just want to use my voice for something that I am passionate about. So yes, please leave your comments down below and let me know what you think. The first thing that I can think about is the therapy, and it can usually vary depending on what disability you have and the severity of the disability that you have. You can get physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy, based on my experience. That's what you can get based on my knowledge. And I have had all three, but since this is the most prominent and kind of therapy that I have gotten, like the type of therapy that I've usually gotten, I will be talking more about physical therapy. And I have gotten physical therapy basically all my life, maybe since I was like 3 years old, and they make you do a lot of things depending on what you want to do. That's what I really like about the physical therapy and just basically therapy in general, because they try to focus on what your goals are and what you want to do. Granted, when I was younger, I didn't know what I wanted to do because I didn't really understand what I had. But now, as I've gotten older, like, now I know what I want to accomplish, and they're very good at, like, helping me and, like, kind of adjusting everything to kind of accomplish everything that I want to do physically. And, like, I just want to say thank you to anyone and everyone who is working with people with disabilities in the medical field. Thank you so much for everything that you do, from the doctors, the surgeons, the therapists, to the caregivers, to the parents, to the family members, everybody. If you work with or live with someone who has a disability of any kind, thank you so much. I know it is very hard sometimes, not only for the person who has the disability, but also for the people around them, because, you know, you care about these people and it's kind of stressful sometimes, and I don't know, it's just very hard, and I feel like they don't get enough credit. So thank you so much. We appreciate you. We love you. As I was saying, I've usually gotten physical therapy, which what I have gone through is like the intensive therapy, like after the surgeries, where they like stretch you, or they put you on a ball, they test your balance, they make you lift weights, and that's very simple, and that's something, at least for me, that's very simple, and but again, it varies. It can get very intense and very painful. The next thing that I have gone through, one of the most prominent things that I have gone through basically my entire life. I'm sure there's a lot more like medical stuff, like for people with cerebral palsy, but like one of the things that I have gone through personally the most is I have gotten Botox. And no, it's not the kind of Botox that you got on your face to look more youthful. I get my legs done. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, these types of Botox, they're actually injected into the legs to relax the muscles of the legs. I know it sounds kind of strange, but it really works, and like I've said, I've gotten them my entire life, and they have done wonders for me. But I'm not gonna lie, it has been very painful. Like, ever since I can remember, it has been very painful. Like, I remember when I was younger, they would do it. I don't really remember, like, them, like, actually, like, doing it, like, injecting me when I was younger and, like, feeling the medicine go in like I do now. Maybe they sedated me or something like that. I don't really remember. But I do remember just, like, going into the room, and, you know, saying that they were gonna cast me, and they would let me pick the colors of the cast and whatever. They tried to make it less scary and a lot more fun. And I just remember having those casts, you know, and they put the cast to kind of just like straighten out the legs and stretch them out, which really helped. And but I will say it was kind of uncomfortable. I had to have them on for a really long time, the cast, and it would get really uncomfortable because I would get really sweaty in the legs, or I would get really itchy and I couldn't scratch it, and I hated it, and it was like, no, but it was like really uncomfortable. But thankfully, like, things changed as I got older, and it progressed from just having the cast on that you could not remove to having those like casts that you could remove, like just to have them so you can feel like a stretch, you know. And then as I got older, we just got rid of the cast altogether, which I wasn't really aware of until I got older. And also, like I said about the sedation thing, now that I'm an adult, they can't really do that. I don't know why, but yeah, we stopped with the sedation, or like, but they do try to do like a numbing type of thing. They spray me with a numbing thing, and it still hurts. The needle doesn't hurt, but the medicine does. Like when it goes in, it's like, and considering I have spastic CP and like I have a lot of spasms and I have a very like bad startle reflex and things like that, I get very tight. It hurts a lot more. So yeah, that can be very painful. And it's like 10 shots in each leg, all over the leg. So it's like, it's very stressful for everyone involved, like for the doctor, for me, my parents, or whoever is there with me. Like, but thankfully, we have all gotten through it. I've gotten through it, and I'm continuing with that treatment. And like I said, for me, based on the cerebral palsy that I have, it has done really great things for me. It has increased my flexibility, even my balance. And yeah, sometimes I feel a little bit wobbly afterwards, but it's fine. It's cool. And the next thing that I have gone through, is the surgeries. And yes, that is the hardest thing that I have ever gone through in my entire life. I have had maybe like 4 surgeries in my life ever, and it all involves my cerebral palsy and my legs. And I remember my first surgery when I was around 7 years old, and it was the tendon release, which is the procedure where they kind of cut your tendons to extend them, because of my cerebral palsy, my muscles are very tight, and so they don't grow like another normal person's muscles would. So they kind of have to like cut it a little bit. And when I say cut it, I don't mean like like shung, you know? I don't mean it that way. They usually just like nick it, like make a little cut like this, and just to make sure that it's more like that your leg can grow, and like your muscle can be like extended a little bit more, so you can have more flexibility and things like that. But I have had other surgeries that are kind of similar and kind of the same thing. So I don't know, I guess all of these things that I have gone through, they really have built me up as a person. They've made me stronger. And I remember having a surgery like towards the end of middle school, and they did the tendon release basically in the back of my knee. They did it in the adductors, which is like the inside of your thigh, and they also cut a little bit of a tendon in my ankles, and that was painful as well. But they also had to put in a hip implant because I was walking like very crooked. I was like I don't know how to explain it. Like my hips were kind of like lopsided, so I would just kind of be like crooked like this all the time, like walking around. And they put in like a small metal plate, and then like maybe like 3 or 4 screws that were like, I don't know, they were like this big, or I don't really remember. Maybe they were like this big. I just know that they were large, and yeah, they were large, and I had them in for like, I had that in for like a year. Combined with the tendon release, it was very painful, and I had to go to therapy, and it was very intensive. I lived in the hospital for maybe like a month, and I lived where I was at for maybe 2 months after I got out of the hospital. So it was in the summer, so I basically spent an entire summer there. And then a year later, I was having problems with the hip implant because it would cause me pain. It would cause me pain, and I was getting like tighter and things like that. So they had it removed, and then like that wasn't as big of a deal because like, you know, it was just from getting it removed and like just like healing and whatever, taking the medication. So that wasn't that big of a deal. But then my final surgery that I had in my life, that was kind of like a big point for me. That was a big point for me in my life, because not only did they do a tendon release, which they did basically the same thing. They cut the tendons in the ankles a little bit, and they cut in the back of the knee, they cut in the adductors, in the inner thighs, like in the same places. And don't worry, I didn't have another hip implant or whatever. There's no problem with that anymore. But what they did do is something called a neurorhizotomy. And I read and heard that usually like it's done in like the lower back for people that are like me or have other types of disabilities. But for me, they did it in the inner thigh, in the adductors, like I previously mentioned. And what they do is they cut the nerves a little bit. They basically do the same thing as they did with the tendon release, where they kind of nick the nerve a little bit. And you kind of have to be very careful when you're a doctor and you do a neurorhizotomy, because, you know, the nerves are very thin, and if you cut a nerve, like, that's permanent. And if you have like a tendon release, that's fine. Your muscle will heal. It'll come back to what it was. But if you cut a nerve, that's like, okay, that's permanent. And they told me that that was something that they did in France. And it was something that wasn't really prominent here in the United States. But I did it anyway because, you know, I felt like I needed it. And yes, it was scary, but thankfully with the encouragement of my family and friends and with the support and the love and everything, they've helped me get through everything. They helped me like get the motivation and confidence to go through with the procedures, and they would take care of me when I was in the hospital, which, like, a special thank you to my family. Like, honestly, like, I don't know how you did it. Because it was very hard. So, like, I would have my cousins or my aunts and uncles and my parents, they would like take turns and like they did it as if like they were like shifts, you know. They were like, stay with me, like one person would stay with me in the day and then another person would stay with me in the night. And then it was just crazy because it was so hard, because, like, you know, I was in pain. I either had my cast, things were hard. I was like tubed up maybe sometimes and things like that. They would need help. A lot of things were just going on, and my family and even some friends, they came down and they kind of just visited me and they gave me some motivation. And I just want to say to everyone who was involved during those times in my life, thank you so much, especially to my parents, my sister, and just everyone. Thank you so much. I don't know how you did it. It is amazing. You have my utmost respect and love, even more than you did before. Thank you so much with helping me get through everything that I have gone through. I literally could not have done it without any of the people that in my life, because I know it was hard for, not just for me, but for everyone involved. Not only was it physically tiring, but it was also emotional, you know. It was very hard, and I cannot thank you enough for that. I love you so much. There were some days where we were in the hospital, like during the surgeries, and I would like cry because I was missing home. I would miss my grandparents, and I would be like, because we had to travel to do all of these different procedures, like the Botox or the surgeries, and we had to live there in the hospital, which is very far from where we are, like from my home, where I am at. And I was getting very homesick, and I was in pain, and it was very stressful for my parents as well, because they never liked to see me in pain. And also my sister, who also missed home and tried so hard to keep herself occupied. Like, everything was going on there, and it was so stressful. We're not like that. We don't get angry with each other, me and my family. We are a very good family we have a very good relationship. Like my family is the best family you could ever ask for. Like, it's amazing. And the things that they have done for me, the things that they have sacrificed, it's crazy for me. I cannot even wrap my head around it still, and it's just amazing. Thank you once again to my family, my parents, and my sister. I love you very, very much, because I know it was hard. It was just crazy, and the amount of support that you gave me was just phenomenal. It was priceless. I love you, and it was just... I couldn't have done it without you guys, honestly. In total, I've had 4 surgeries in my entire life, and I've had countless injections in my legs, and I've been doing my physical therapy for as long as I can remember. Maybe I've said this before, but I think I had physical therapy since I was maybe 3 years old, or maybe 5, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it is hard having a disability and living with a disability, but I'm not gonna let it dictate what I feel and how I live. And just because I have a disability doesn't mean that I'm gonna be sad all the time and be depressed or feel sorry for myself. We should live life to the fullest. And yeah, having a disability, you should acknowledge it and even be proud of it. But there's always room for improvement, and you always want to make yourself better in any type of way possible. Never feel sorry for yourself. Try to think of the positive side of everything. I know it's hard, but you'll get through it just like I did. Well, I think that's all I have for you guys today. Again, like I said, I'm speaking from my personal experiences. And once again, if you have your own experiences with cerebral palsy or any other type of disability and any experiences where you have gone through some really difficult medical stuff, surgeries and stuff like that, please let me know. Tell me your story down in the comments below. I would love to hear your stories, because I know there's a lot more people that go through some of the stuff that I have gone through, and maybe have some similar situations. And even if they're completely different, please tell me, because I know everybody goes through stuff, so please let me know down in the comments below. I hope that this kind of motivated you or helped you kind of open your eyes a little bit, or made you happy, or made you smile, because I really want to connect with you guys and just help you feel happier, whether you have a disability or not. I just want to connect with you guys, because we're all human, and I just wanted to say that I love you guys very much. You all are beautiful, you all are my blessings, you all are my angels. I love you so much. I love you. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to join the family as well. And also hit that bell button so you won't miss any other videos that I post. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. Okay. Bye. Yay. And bye.